If I take them out? Trying to have a little look? Okay, off you go.
And you also have Bluetooth off.
Oh, Randy, so have you taken the off for a minute?
No, I haven't.
Oh, let's have a look. My Bluetooth off, Randy. Let's have a little look. Bluetooth off. Oh, well, I've got to go back again, Randy. How do I go back?
There you go. Now you're live.
Am I live now? Well, thank God none of you are paying for this. Oh, Randy, I've gone off. It's gone off. Quick. Here. Oh, I'm back again. Here we go. So thank God none of you are paying for this, because I went off. For some reason, I put my headphones in and all of a sudden the whole thing went a bit dead. Okay, so let's start again, shall we? Let's start again. Hey, we're all learning this great technology, but it comes sometimes with a little bit of a problem every now and then. So anyway, so these wonderful women have been part of my life for many, many years. In fact, since I started my shows and started working on the world stages. They're professional dancers, models, actresses, and presenters, and they're directors of their most incredible talent agency called Black Birdcage Entertainment. They've worked with the likes of Sophie Ellis-Bextor, Alicia Dixon, Take That, Scooter. They've been in movies with people like Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and they've even played lesbian vampires in James Corden, The Lesbian Vampire Killers. So they are incredible. And I tell you what, before we bring the girls out, let's have a little look at some photographic history. Me with a little bit of long hair going on here. So Randy, roll the video and let's have a look at the girls. Well, there they are, the two most beautiful women in my life. So please welcome Kelly and Stacey Franklin. Hi, girls.
Hi,
Hey, I'm so sorry. We got off to a bit of a shaky start for some reason, but technology's like that, isn't it? It kind of, just when you think you've got it sorted, you haven't got it sorted. How are you? Well, listen, for the viewers, Kelly, hold your hand up because Kelly's not got the hat on. Okay, so that's Kelly. And there's Stacey. There we go. We've got both of you. Hey, girls, it's a real pleasure to have you on the show. And I know so many of my followers, and I've got super fans now, definitely know who you two are. How are you? How have you been during
Yeah,
lockdown?
Thank you. Well, first, I'd like to say a massive thank you for interviewing us. I feel very honoured. You interview all these amazing, talented hairdressers every week. So thank you, Patrick. We really are honoured that you're interviewing us.
Oh, well, I'm hoping you're going to dish a little bit of dirt, because I think a lot of my viewers out there, they often think that I'm squeaky clean. So perhaps we might find a few little skeletons in the closet as we go along. Hey, can you remember when we met? Can you tell you how we met? When did we meet?
Yes, of course we remember. So me and Stacey were very young back then, Patrick, and
He was 15.
I think we
wasn't
were
we?
15
Yeah,
years old, and we just started our modelling career. And in fact, your casting was one of the very first castings that we attended, and they was looking for models for a hair show, and we was like, oh, okay, let's go along. This would be fun. This would be fun. And then yep, lo and behold, it was you and Marco when we walked into the Weller studio, which was back in Mortimer Street. And
That's right.
yeah,
It was fun.
15. We was 15 years old.
And what was the show? Can you remember the show?
Yes, it was for the black and white show. So it was the beautiful black and white corsets and the long skirts, and it was a very beautiful hair. Well, all the hair's beautiful, but the one that goes. I remember my hairstyle actually perfectly. But yeah,
I think it was the Royal Collection, and and we're going way back into the 1990s, and it was one of my very first shows, and it was collaborative with Marco Irby. You're absolutely right.
That's correct.
And so it was one of the very first shows that Marco and I put together.
Okay.
We've been involved in so many things, throughout the years. Tell me some of your favorite memories. What are some of your favorite memories that you can remember from way back then?
Oh, there's so many. So, I mean, first of all, we've had the amazing opportunity to travel the world with you, Patrick. So we're forever grateful for that, because we've seen some amazing places, and with the lovely team that you guys have, Marco, Sue, we've had belly laughs the whole time. It's just been fantastic. Yeah, we actually sat today and we was making a little list of the countries that we've travelled to with you, and we was like, wow. So
really?
Yeah. We'll name a few.
Go on, go off you go.
Las Vegas, Chicago, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Venezuela, Mauritius, Russia, Guadeloupe, and we was on a roll saying them, and we was going to travel. Oh my God, we've been so lucky to have travelled to the most amazing places in the world. And as Kelly said, you're like our second family. It's been so much fun. Yeah, wine tasting in South Africa, Tabletop Mountain, and performing in the Kremlin in Russia. It's just been absolutely such a wonderful journey.
Well, I mean, it has, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a real journey, because I think the likes of that we probably won't see again, because that was a time where during the mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, things were just bubbling, weren't they? There were so many things. I can remember a story. I can remember being at a show at the Kremlin for Mrs. Putin, and I can remember you two little monkeys. I can remember this. You had these beautiful overgowns over top of white gowns. And I can remember backstage in the Kremlin, you managed to find a little clown tricycle. And one of you, I'm not sure whether it's Kelly or Stacey, decided they were going to get on this tricycle, Stacey, and take it for a ride. Anyway, minutes before the show, you looked down, and all your beautiful gown had got caught in the chain of this tricycle. Do you remember that?
To this day, I still feel so guilty, because Marco's gowns are just gorgeous, and it was the most beautiful white gown with billowing material floating. And I thought, I actually forgot I was wearing it because it was so comfy, Marco. If you're watching. And so I found the bike, and I thought it's a great idea. I'll have a little ride around while we're waiting backstage. It wasn't a good idea at all. And then I couldn't get off the bike, and I was like, oh no! And it was trapped in the chain. Gosh. And then eventually we got it out. There was a black stain and all, and I was like, how am I going to ever explain this to Marco?
Which I might say, he looked at you. I think he was so upset, but he didn't know what to do. He grabbed the fabric, he ruched it all up, he put pins in it, and no one knew. No
No
one
one
knew.
would even know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No one knew. But you know, the girls, just to my viewers out there, so the girls for many years modeled with me, modeled for me. And one of the things that I think people don't quite understand, and I really mean this, girls, you were my muse for many years. So I would try something out on your hairstyle, on your head, and if you liked it and it looked good, then we'd put it into the collection. And I think you've done hundreds of hairstyles for me.
Yeah,
Hundreds.
I think we've had pretty much everyone that you've done, Patrick.
Absolutely. And we was actually saying as well earlier about the back combing, because we obviously used to love all the big hairstyles, and we always had such a good technique. We had it down, obviously, because the amount of hairstyles we had, so we had it down how to get the back combing out perfectly. But me and Stacey always used to go to bed with the back combing,
Just leave it.
So
So,
it was a
yeah.
perfect pillow, and we'd sleep on it and then come down looking like Beetlejuice at breakfast and then get it out in seconds, and the models would be like, "How did you do that?" We'd be like,
Well, the trick is you just leave your hair, you go to bed, and in the morning it comes out nice and easy.
I love that, and that's a great trick. And I even tell models even today to do that sort of idea.
Yeah.
You know, I can remember too. I mean, there've been so many shows, and again, as I say, you were modeling with us first, and for many years you were modeling, and then from modeling, I started to use each of you as choreographers because you're amazing choreographers. And what we'd do, wouldn't we, is we'd have Kelly on one show, Stacey on the next show, Kelly on the next one, and Stacey, and we'd do this. But every now and then things would go a little bit wrong, and Stacey would get probably Bognor Regis, and Kelly would get Guadeloupe.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
It was
Or
normally
Brazil
Kelly
or
that got
somewhere.
Bognor
Do you remember?
So we'd say to each other, "Oh, it's your turn.
We'd
then.
actually
Where
toss
are
a
you
coin.
going then?" And then Kelly would be, "Oh, I'm going tour in India for 5 days." And I said, "Oh, that's lovely." And then it would come to my turn. They'd be like, "Yes, where are we going?" And I'd probably be like, "Oh, we're just going to Leeds for the weekend." And Kelly would be like, "Oh, never mind. It's my turn next. I'm sure I'll get somewhere beautiful."
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it
Oh.
worked out. We you know, we
Spa
share it
weekends.
out, and we always get, you know, somewhere lovely, as we call them, our spa trips away, Patrick, as you know.
Well, now that you girls are real entrepreneurs, you've got your own successful business, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, and of course you're dealing with models now all the time. So
Yeah.
you're the one now in my position where I was always dealing with models, and now of course you're dealing with models. So do you think you learned anything from me along the way?
We've banned tricycles backstage, so they're no longer allowed.
Definitely.
No,
Yeah.
we have for sure. Absolutely. It was the perfect learning curve, how to deal with models, you know, what to say yes and no to. So now we're very experienced, Patrick. Thank you.
We was actually
You know-
saying earlier that because Patrick, you never get annoyed. You'll never see Patrick Cameron annoyed or angry with everyone, because he's the most amazing person that's always so kind-hearted and loving. So we was trying to think of a time. Let's think of a time from all the years when Patrick has
Let's dish
been
it out.
angry with us. And then, so we was having a little conversation earlier, and I remember one time, so I think we'd gone to Switzerland. We was doing a big show in Switzerland, and it was on the Sunday that the show was happening in Switzerland. And we all met in the lobby in the morning, all the models and everything. And you said, "Right now, girls, please tell me that everybody has just one thing you had to all remember: your black shoes." And we was like, and we kind of looked at each other thinking, I don't want to put my hand up and say that I haven't got mine. And Kelly was like looking, and we was having this conversation without speaking. And then we both kind of just went, "Oh." And you said, "So you've forgotten your shoes?" And we was like, "Yeah, sorry, Patrick." And you was like, "Right, it's Sunday. I'm going to the show. You're to get yourself shoes, and I shall see you at the show." And you turned and you walked off, and I was like, "Oh no, Patrick's angry. That's the first time I've ever seen him angry."
So he was like, "Oh gosh, what are we to do?" So we had to quickly think on our feet and conjure up a plan. And none of the shops were open. So we
Because it
said,
was Sunday, so he's like, "Oh God, we're in shit street basically here. What are we going to do?" So we went back to our room, and we thought, right, let's well, what can we do? And jokingly, I said to Kelly, "Well, what do we?" She said, "I don't know, borrow the maid's shoes." And then Kelly says, "You know, that could work. That could work." So she phoned the hotel manager, and she was like, "Hi there, can we speak to the manager?" And he's like, "Right, ladies, come down into the lobby."
it was like a scene out, you know, Pretty Woman. It always reminds me of the scene where she calls the manager and he goes, "I'll meet you in the lobby."
So we went downstairs into the lobby, and he said, right, we said, look, we're in a bit of a sticky situation here. We said, we're doing a big hair show for Patrick Cameron in Switzerland. He was like, oh yes, I know. And we said, well, we've not got no shoes. And he said, come with me, ladies. So he took us down into the basement of the hotel, and then he just opened the maid's locker of where the shoes were kept, and he pulled out these 2 pairs of shoes, and he was like, here you go, ladies.
And they've definitely done a few shifts, these shoes. Yeah, he was repulsive.
And he said, this is the best I can do. So remember, we jumped into a taxi, and we actually got to the venue before you guys, and we put our little
Pinkle Wiggles, they curled up at the end. Do you remember?
We sat them
I think they were about that high as well,
Oh,
weren't they?
and we wasn't the tallest
No.
models on the job, and it was literally like bring out the circus twins when we come down the catwalk. Do you remember Marco's beautiful gowns and just the curling shoes coming along the catwalk?
You know, I remember that. But I also remember one of the great things about the two of you, it's always been, because there's 2 of you, whatever happens, you match each other. So if you've got the maid shoes on with curly up front toes, then it didn't matter because you both had it. So you were always this lovely yin and yang, you know, which I loved.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
thankfully we was walking together, because if it was
Yeah.
one of the other models who's probably taller than us in
Think it
really high heels,
It really stood out.
yeah.
And I remember one of you fell off the stage. Which
Yes.
one of you fell off the stage?
Stacey
Yeah,
ended
that
up in
was me. I think
hospital.
we was in I think it was
Portugal.
Portugal. We was in Portugal doing a show, and then there was a little gap backstage between the
That's
stage
right.
and the backstage area, and I was just walking backwards, and we was gossiping with the girls, you know, not paying attention really, and then I just took a step back, and that was it. I was gone, and I landed straight on my elbow, and I think it was about 3 hours before your show, Patrick, and I was like, oh no, because I could then feel it swelling, and it was like a big old apple on my elbow, and I was like, oh Patrick, I think I need to go to the hospital. And I remember I had to go to A&E in Portugal, but I mean, thankfully they x-rayed it and there was no broken bones. It
Yeah.
was just bad bruises.
Oh. And I can remember one of you literally being on the toilet 2 seconds before you were due on stage.
Yeah, that was me,
Literally
That was me.
running from the
Oh,
bathroom to the
oh my
stage.
God, yeah, I think I was a little bit poorly that day.
You know, one of the things that I love the most is that we all look after each other, don't we, when we're on tour?
Yeah,
We all look
yeah.
after each other. And
Yes.
I think one of the things that often happens when you're touring with models, you have to be a family. And if you get a model that just doesn't fit in, it can be a bit of a disaster, can't it?
Oh yes, completely. Yeah, you get, you know, or there's always the odd one, and it can cause a few problems.
I remember there was one, and I'm certainly not going to name names, but I remember one in Greece, and I remember there was a punch up or something. And I think that's probably the only other time I got angry, when one of my models came out and she had a little cut on her face. And I said, what's happened there? She said, oh, blah, blah, blah's just punched me.
Yeah.
And wow,
The cuts
that was the end of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Patrick.
Yeah,
you
Patrick, I think you read that.
Oh, the girls have gone off for a sec. Oh, there we are. They're back again. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think in all the years that we worked together, we were so blessed and so lucky to really do some amazing work, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, it's been absolutely wonderful.
fabulous.
Yeah, we was.
You know, I must tell the viewers a story that I remember that's so funny. I remember flying to Russia. We were one of the first hairdressing groups to do a tour of Russia. You will remember this. The beautiful night train from Moscow to St. Petersburg and so on. And I can remember we got to one place, I think it was Samara, and we had a Jeep that had bulletproof glass. Do you remember this? Bulletproof glass, and a driver that had a neck as big, I don't know, as big as my thighs.
Yep.
And he had a tannoy on his car so that when we stopped at the lights, he would go on the tannoy and tell people something in Russian. And I can remember asking, and you girls were in the car as well, I think.
Yeah, it was literally like a scene out of one of those Al Pacino movies.
Yeah.
Like,
Or he'd say,
Scarface.
like, move away from the car. It's like anyone who'd come near the car, move away.
Oh, and the funniest part was that all the other models, I think we had 10 models. The funniest part was the other models were in an old bus behind us, weren't they? With curtains flapping in and out because the windows didn't quite shut. and they were in an old bus behind us, and we were in this luxury limousine Jeep.
Luxury.
Tinted windows.
Yeah,
the works.
they was literally like the Flintstone vehicle behind us, falling off. And we were just riding in luxury, like, hi, girls.
You know, one of the things that I've always loved about you two is whenever you get yourself into a situation, there's always two of you to get yourselves out again. And I think there have been so many situations over the years that the two of you have found yourself in. But because there's two of you and you really are each other's best friends, you always manage to get yourself out of that scrape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get where water wouldn't, as you say, Patrick.
But one of the funniest stories, and please, you've got to tell my viewers, please tell my viewers the story of the movie that you were cast in that you didn't realize you were cast in.
Oh, Patrick, why?
I think it's Stacey. Stacey, was it you?
Yes, me. Okay, so I went for a casting, and normally at the castings you never know what's going to happen when you get there, and they throw things at you like dance like this or do this. So I arrived at this particular casting, and I was asked to speak as posh as I possibly could. You know, not really my forte, Patrick, but I give it a good go. So I had a few lines. I was in and out. It was very quick. Just went in, did my poshest accent I could muster, left, and then a couple of days later I got a call from the agent saying, "Oh, Stacey, congratulations, you've got the job. Great news. So tomorrow you need to go. Just give me the address of the place that I need to go to. Just have a quick read through. It's a little acting role, nothing too big. It's quite a stint though, it'd be like 3-4 weeks worth of work." So I was like, great. She said, "I'll fill you in all the details later on. Just go there, tomorrow, and we'll sort it out from there." So I was like, fab. So took myself to the venue. Arrived at this massive stately home. It was huge. I thought, oh, this looks like a nice job. So the electric gates opened, and I was driving up along the pathway, and then I took a glance to my left, and I thought, oh, sure, that's Prince Charles. And then I looked again, and I thought, yeah, it's definitely Prince Charles from the royal family. And then there was also Prince Andrew, and then the Queen Mum was there, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? And then all the corgis were running around on the lawn, and I thought, well, I don't know what's happening there, but there's something special going down because the royal family are there on the left on the lawn. So this is fab. So I carried on driving, and then thought, what exactly am I doing here? So I went into the house, and they sat me down in the chair, and they're like, "This is your script. Give me a great big script like this." They said, "Just read through the first scene. We're going to be filming in a minute." And I was thinking, what am I doing here? So I started to read the first scene, and they're like, "Oh, she's in for like hair and makeup. Diana's here for hair and makeup next." And I was like, "Diana?" And then still didn't know what was going on. Still didn't clock what was going on. And then I got a short wig put on, and then I started doing my makeup, really short blonde wig. And I was like, "Excuse me," I said, "just a quick one. Why am I here?" And they said, "Oh, you don't know, you're playing the life story of Lady Diana, and you're Diana." And I was just like, wow. So really, I had no other option but to just roll with Lady Diana. I had to just go with it, Patrick. I had to.
And I think weren't the cast a little bit surprised that you'd been cast as Diana?
Well, of course. Well, and then Prince Charles come in, and the Queen Mum, and I realised then that those were all brilliant lookalikes. And I thought, well, it's not the royal family; they're just really good lookalikes. But I don't look anything like Lady Diana. So we did the first scene in this massive banquet, having dinner, and straight up, delivered a few lines. We had a conversation between us all, the actors, and then the director came over and said, "Stacey, you are marvellous." And I said, "Oh, thank you." He said, "The shyness and the coyness about you, it's just perfect." And I felt like saying, "That's because I am cringing my entire bum off here, basically, and I don't want to look at anyone." So I'm like,
I can remember because I think I was working with Kelly at the time, and you were sending texts back and forth, and we were on the floor laughing, Kelly, because honestly,
screaming. That was a screensaver on my phone for about 2 years, Patrick. I mean, I couldn't take it off.
But then
Oh,
it didn't stop there. I mean, and then we went to Saint Tropez. We did the whole yacht scene with Dodi Fayed. Yeah, and then we went to Paris to the Ritz Hotel. I mean, it was literally 4 weeks of filming her whole life. I mean, it was amazing, absolutely amazing to do. But my God, please, no one ever find that footage.
Oh. Well, I've got it. Wasn't it finally for a Japanese market? So I think you were probably dubbed, weren't you?
Oh,
Yes.
well,
Oh, well,
definitely.
I would think so, Patrick. Probably dubbed in a new face.
Oh, I love it. Well, you know what? To my viewers out there, I think we've got a couple of photos of you actually with some royals. Let's have a little look. There we go. I think we've got William and we have got Charles.
Yes,
Ah,
they
yes.
are actually the
They're
real
actually
McCoy.
the real ones. Yes.
The real one. Where were you on this photo?
We was working on a charity event in London,
Yes.
and the Royal, Prince William and Prince Charles were present. It was a big charity for cancer, which was amazing, and yeah, it was such a good cause. And they come along. There's quite a few celebrities there that day, and
Yeah,
we had a nice little chat with them both.
and a nice little talk with Prince Charles.
We didn't mention obviously the Lady Diana story. We kept
Oh,
ourselves there.
I love it. I love it. You know, we've got comments coming up. Honestly, one of them someone saying, Claire saying, you couldn't make that up. So, Lucy Healy's going, so funny. June Wilcox is going, wow. You know, I mean, really, there have been so many events over the years. Were you with us in Turkey, I'm sure, when the stage didn't come up? Do you remember that one?
Well, this is one of my favourite Patrick Cameron disaster stories on stage. There's only been one or two, and this was one of them, because we were all on hydraulics and all the models were on this beautiful stage where all the stairs come up, and we were all poised on the stage ready to come down the catwalk with our beautiful hairstyles. And it come to the evening of the event, and I don't remember, Patrick, but the guests were late because there was a delay with the boats.
That's right. They were not only late, but they were supposed to arrive at 7 o'clock, and I think at 11:30 at night we saw the first guest arrive.
So they were so late. So we was like, oh, finally the show was about to happen.
Actually, just while you're saying that, I'll just say to the viewers, the reason why the guests were so late was because we were at a beautiful luxury resort, and all of the hairdressers, I think it was about 200, 300 hairdressers, were all taken to a dock. They were put on a beautiful boat, and then they were sailed around the harbour to come into a harbour where the theatre was. So they were going to go on a little bit of a boat excursion, then come into the theatre. But one of the funniest things happened was it hit a sandbar. So it actually hit a sandbar as it was coming around. So the boat was caught on a sandbar, but only literally a matter of probably about 20 meters from the shoreline, from the actual dock. And apparently, from what I hear, it was like the HMS Titanic on the boat, and everybody was scrambling for one lifeboat. But now bear in mind, it wasn't going to sink. It was stuck on a sandbar. They had to ferry the people off the boat. 300 people had to come off, I think about 3 or 4 at a time. So by the time they got people in, it was literally about 11:30 at night. And I think when we went on, it was midnight. Carry on.
Midnight. And so then we was all set to go, cue the music, all the models were set, and there was a technical hitch, and all of a sudden we was slowly coming up, like ever so slowly coming up, that we were practically moving, but at the same time they were pumping smoke because they was waiting for the stairs, but the more the stairs wasn't lifting, the more smoke they were pumping. So eventually it looked like a scene out of a thriller movie, you know, like there's a pop thriller video, all smoke. No models.
I think it was literally like the last verse of the song when the smoke cleared.
But we couldn't see a thing, could we?
No, we couldn't even move from the stairs because we could have seen inch in front of our face. So these poor guests, not only as they, took them to 11 on the boat, and then they couldn't see the show.
I remember that. I remember the smoke was outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Hey guys, over the years, I mean, you've traveled with me now for many years as choreographers, and we've done amazing shows around the world. But of course, you have your own production company now. You've got your own entertainment company. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we do. We set Black Birdcage Entertainment up about 6 years ago now, six,
Yeah.
7 years ago. We kept people we at the time we was in like a troupe and we were singing and dancing and performing ourselves, and then people were asking us for different acts, different entertainment. So we thought we'd take the opportunity just to set our own company up and give it a go, because we thought, you know, people were asking us, so we might as well go for this. And we took the plunge and set it up, and we've been so lucky and grateful, because from then we've been putting on amazing shows, VIP parties.
Well, listen,
internationally.
before we talk about those, let's give our viewers a taste of what is this amazing Blackbird Cage entertainment production house. Let's have a little look. Absolutely incredible. You must be so proud of that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been really good, because when we set up the agency, we thought we'd put two parts to it. So we do the models. We have a modelling side where we hire out the models and staff to like Weller, yourself, GHD. So that's great. And then we have the entertainment side. So we've got to work at some fantastic parties, and we've got such talented people on our books now.
Yeah.
It really is. We love it. We love what we do. And we get to work at some fab events. So it's really, really good fun.
I mean, you've been flowing from one end of the world to the other. I mean, and I'm not going to go through the client list that you've got, because I know with a lot of these parties there's also confidentiality, but I can definitely tell all of our viewers out there that these are some pretty incredible events that you're involved in, aren't they?
Yeah, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, we are really, really grateful, because we've had some amazing events that we've worked on, and we just love the whole creative side of it, creating all the costumes and the production and the shows, and yeah, it's been fabulous for us.
Yeah, we've got to do some really nice stuff. We was in just before lockdown, was in Bangladesh doing a big event there. We took all the Strictly dancers, doing a big Latin exposure show, and we put all the shows together, and we love that side of things, putting all the shows together and adding special acts in, and just making the client really happy, really. What they come with us with the theme, and then we work on that for them.
Yeah.
And it's,
I mean, you've worked everything. I mean, you've done movies, you know, you did Ab Fab, you know, you were down there on the run.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it really, when I look at your list of things, you know, you've modelled for Agent Provocateur, Chanel, Clinique, Vivienne Westwood, and you're also, I don't know whether you're still doing it, but you were on a beauty campaign with a Hollywood actress, Sharon Stone.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we've been doing that for 5 years. So we did her campaign. We met her. She's absolutely lovely, such a lovely lady, really like humble and down to earth. And we've been doing the campaign with her for 5 years now. So that's been lovely. And then I think the highlight of our career was when we were starting the World's End movie with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, because it was so much fun because we had to do stunt training. So we did stunt training for I think 2 months before we did the movie.
So we did all the actual stunts ourselves. So we did kick their ass.
Yeah. But, I mean, there was days when we'd be doing our stunt training. This is one that really sticks in my mind. And we was doing our session on the pads. We had to because we had to beat up
Sit
Simon
boys,
Pegg and Paddy in the film. So we had to learn how to fight them properly. So they said, right, girls, you know, we want you to actually do it yourself. We don't want to bring in proper stunt people. We want to train you. So we was like, perfect. And we was doing the stunt training at the studio, and just in walked Pierce Brosnan, because he also was a cameo role in the film. And he just stood there with his arms crossed, watching us doing our training, like,
Yeah, we were
And
like,
then,
and
he just like left after about 20 minutes of watching us, and we were like, hi. And it was like such a surreal moment that we actually didn't know what to do, whether to laugh, cry, or just, I don't know.
yeah, pants.
Yeah.
You know, and I hear that Simon Pegg is just wonderful to work with as well.
They was the most talented, amazing cast, and we'd giggle every day. They were truly, and the director as well, Edgar Wright, they wrote it all together. It's a fabulous film.
Yeah, it was so much fun on set. There was always like laughing. There's so much banter between them on set.
Yeah, they have really good chemistry.
Simon every morning would make like a point of coming to our little trailer, knocking on the door and saying, girls, Franklin twins, have you had a nice breakfast? And we'd be like, oh yes, thanks, Simon. He'd leave, and I'd say to Kelly, Simon Pegg has just asked us if we had a good breakfast.
and I think you were like scary twins, almost like off The Shining, weren't you?
Yeah. So we didn't have to act much, Patrick. No, we was actually blue-blooded aliens.
Yeah, robots.
We were robots that spin our arms and our legs, but
rotating arms and legs.
It was so much fun because we had to for the prosthetics and stuff for the arms and the legs. We had to have like full works, the full dip in clay, and it was so much fun.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, and honestly, it was brilliant. I loved it. That's World's End for the viewers out there, so they must follow it. But also, then you ended up working with James Corden, and you were lesbian vampires.
Yes, but we've been asked to do many things as twins, Patrick, as you can imagine. But kissing was a step too far. But we got the part. So.
When we went for that particular casting, they said, right, so it's lesbian vampires for this movie, and your role is that you basically need to kiss each other. So we was like, okay. We've never done that before, and that might be a bit strange, but hey ho, we'll give it a go. So there was lots of kissing with each other with that one.
Oh, well, listen, nice. You know, if you've got to kiss anybody, kiss your sister, because I mean, she's an amazing. I can't believe I just said that. Hey, this whole lockdown thing, of course, there's been a lot of work that's been cancelled, and my work's cancelled. I know a lot of your work's cancelled. Are things slowly starting for you?
Yes, slowly. We've seen a few things starting to come back. Lucky for us, we've managed to have a little local contract with an outdoor event, which is really lovely, close by to us, which has been fab. So we've been doing that, slowly starting to get like shoots back, but they've been online. It's sort of been a lot of stuff online. Same as you, Patrick, you always say turn a negative into positive, so that's what we've been doing, but it has been really tough.
Very
the entertainment industry has been hit really hard, and I know
really hard,
especially for our performers and stuff as well. It's so hard for everyone. They're looking at different careers and taking other work and stuff. So it has hit everyone really hard, I think.
We was quite lucky to we had a wedding in Switzerland last
that was really lucky
2 weeks ago, but it was a very small wedding, just 30 people, but they had the same amount of performers as they did guests. So that was nice. It was very small. We didn't think that would happen because of flying and stuff. You just don't know, but we was very lucky because when we got back the following Saturday, then Switzerland went into quarantine, so we was quite happy that we got back before that happened. But
I know.
I must say something as well, actually, because
what's that?
Oh, well, I'm going to show you. Yeah. Have I dropped it? So over the years, we've collected many, many albums of all of the jobs we've done with you. So every country and every show that we've been in, because back then you just took a picture on a camera, you didn't upload to your computer back in the day. So we have millions and millions of these albums. Every show, Patrick, that we've been on, we had about 50 of these albums, even more, I think. of every job that we've been on with you. If you can see.
Oh
There's
my
us and-
God.
Can you see?
We have a box load. of
Yeah.
these. So we
Oh.
have to go through all of them.
We have to
'cause
have
there's some-
one night when we've got about 24 hours free time to sit down and go through all of these.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll make that a date. I would love to Marco to get together with us,
Yeah,
Marco,
yeah.
Irby. I'd love Sue to come down.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I'd love us all to get together, you know, Marco Everard. I'd like us all to get
And
together.
Ali as well.
And
We can all
Alison
get
Alison
together.
Chesterton, of course, my makeup artist that we all call Mother, and we think she's
Yeah.
amazing. You know, girls, I mean, my gosh, people always ask me, Patrick, have you written a book? You've got to write a book. Well, I tell you what, if I was ever going to do a book, I'd have to have you two ghost it, because you remember things that I could never remember. And I think we've been in situations that have been truly, truly blessed to be in, haven't we?
Oh, completely, Patrick.
Definitely.
It's just like, and the team as well. Like, we literally, you're like our second family. And,
Definitely.
you know, it's so nice as well, because like we know that our mum and dad love, like when we go away with you guys, they're like, oh, it's Patrick, you know, especially when we was younger, they felt so
yeah.
safe.
When we used to do jobs, they used to worry so much. Text us when you're there safe.
Yeah.
And then whenever it was you, Patrick, it's like, oh, it's like your dad. It's fine. We're so happy. We don't need to worry. You're with Patrick.
Well, you know, that's a responsibility you take when you take young women away with you. I'm always very fiercely protective of all of you when you do come away with me. And I know, hopefully, I think Rosie will be watching. Rosie, she was
Yeah.
Rosie Williams, and she'll be out there. She'll know I've looked after her over the years. So, you know, I think we've all had a journey. I'm so proud of you girls. I'm so proud of what you're doing, what you've achieved, how you've been working. I know you have amazing men in your life. You've got Kelly got married 3 years ago, and of course, Cal, it was your anniversary the other day with Matt. 3 years,
Yeah.
amazing.
I bet many people can't say that Patrick did their hair at their wedding, but I can.
Well, there's not many brides that I do it for, so and I'll definitely do Stacey's when she's ready to.
Yeah.
But honestly, girls, I wanted to have you on as guests. I knew that my people would listen to me, my people, gosh. But I knew that my viewers would love you. I've loved having you. I know Sue was so excited. She's looking forward to catching up with you in the next couple of weeks. I think you're going to catch up.
We're going up to see her next week, so we're really excited about that. We can't wait
Ah.
to see soon. She
Ah.
have a nice dinner.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, listen, I know that your mum and dad aren't on Facebook and so on, so please show them the recording. I'm
We
sorry
will.
that at the very, very beginning we were doing so well, but we went off air for a few seconds, but we managed to get it back up again. Bless Randy. He's upstairs in his office, turning it on and off.
Thank you, Randy.
So to all of you out there, guys, Kelly and Stacey, much, much love. Thank you so, so much for being my guests on A Conversation With. I've loved it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Love you. Love you. Thank you.
Bye, darlings. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and being with me for A Conversation With. Again, I'm so sorry of the technical hitches that we had at the very, very beginning of the show. But hey, listen, that happens. We're digital, aren't we? And no one's paying for it, so it's all right, isn't it? To all of you there, have a fantastic evening tonight. And look out for me again. Remember, Education and Isolation on a Monday at 10:30 in the morning, and we'll see you there. So from me here in London, my studio in London, I'm sending you a lot of love, and we'll see you very soon. Remember, share the video if you liked it, put it out there, and get as many people watching it as you possibly can. Lots of love, guys. Bye.